Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome back to our YouTube channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that this video is going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine as you can see. Kisumu is also fantastic, and maybe you could also let me know where you are watching the video from, the county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, what next for Rigathi Gachagua after William Ruto and Raila Odinga met with Yoweri Museveni in Uganda? What next for Rigathi Gachagua? Because that meeting between William Ruto, Raila Odinga and Museveni in Uganda is definitely going to shape the politics of the Republic of Kenya moving forward, just like the handshake between Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta shapes the politics after the 2017 general election. That meeting is going to have serious political implications on three main people. The first person is going to affect in a very big way is Rigathi Gachagua. How is Rigathi Gachagua going to maneuver the alleged handshake between Ruto and Raila? The other group is Azimio leadership. Were they informed about this particular meeting? What is their take? Are they supporting it? And lastly, the Luo rebels who defected from Raila Odinga camp and went to William Ruto. What will they be selling to the people on the ground? But I don't want to get into those details for now. For now, I want to focus on Rigathi Gachagua. First of all, allow me to take you through some posts which I was reading from Dennis Itumbi. Dennis Itumbi made some interesting posts here because it's like they are in denial of what's happening. This is what Itumbi posted. President Kibaki, in his second term, had a handshake with Raila Odinga. He became Prime Minister. William Ruto was the man at the Serena talks. President Uhuru, in his second term, had a handshake made Raila Odinga a failed presidential candidate. In his first term, William Ruto is making Raila Odinga the president of presidents without a handshake. William Ruto does not like being praised for what he considers doing right. But on this, I must tweet for the record. Genius move. Why is Dennis Itumbi trying to persuade Kenyans, trying to convince Kenyans what happened between Raila and Ruto is not a handshake? But what happened between Raila and Kibaki was handshake. What happened between Raila and Uhuru is handshake. The truth of the matter is that handshake between Raila and Ruto happened. And it happened in July 2023 in Mombasa in the presence of Olusegun Obasanjo. That's a fact that Dennis Itumbi and the team would not want anybody to agree to because of the fact that they opposed alleged handshake between Uhuru and Raila.
Na ndipo mimi nimesema tutafanya kazi na Prime Minister Bwana Raila Odinga kuhakikisha mambo hawa mawili tumeweza kutimiza, because there can be no greater legacy that we can leave our children that leaving behind a peaceful and united country. And for that to happen, we must be inclusive in how we manage our affairs. And how we achieve that I leave to the people. We will hear their opinions, we will hear their agendas, but we must be inclusive so that never again should a Kenyan citizen from any part of this country ever feel left out.
But what next for Rigathi Gachagua? That's exactly what I want us to do in this video. But before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. What next for Rigathi Gachagua?
Usikuwe na wasiwasi, tuko pale, rais anaendelea na mambo ya uchumi, sisi ndio tunaangalia. Tukiona hiyo mzee karibu na jaribu kukaribia Ikuru, tumeweka mtego kila pahali kwa ukuta, hakuna pahali anaweza pitia. Na akijaribu tuta deal na yeye. Tumekubaliana? Sasa nimeweka mitego kila kona, kila pahali nimeweka, na niko na watu. wakunipigia simu, wakionekana tu karibu naambiwa, kwa sababu uwezi mtu ameharibu serikali ine umkubalie akuje ya tano, si ataharibu.
Was Rigathi Gachagua aware that Raila Odinga was going to meet with William Ruto and Museveni in Uganda?
Na unajua hii watu, your excellency, sometime sisi ndio tumewaharibu. Juzi tumekuwa na kongamano pale, mimi niko pale, rais ameniambia nikaribishe marais wote wa Kenya na niwapeleke kwake. Mimi niko pale, nimekaribisha marais, napelekea rais, nakaribisha, napeleka, nakaribisha, nakipeleka. Sasa ile mzee sijui alipitia wapi. Sasa nikiwa nimekaa pale nauliza hii ni rais ya wapi, kufunguliwa ni ile mzee ya maandamano. Bas mimi unajua ni muungwana, nikamkaribisha namwambia okay, karibu kwa mkutano. Sasa yeye ati anaenda kwenda pahali marais wanakaa, ati akae. Yeye ni rais ya nchi gani? Hakuna mtu amemchagua. So we are also encouraging bad habits. Juzi amekuja pale KICC, nimemkaribisha vizuri. Simuliona? Kwa heshima, kwa sababu yeye ni mzee wetu, amekuja, tumemwalika. Sasa kuliko aendi ya kwa kiti yake, anataka kuingia marais pahali wamekaa wale wamechaguliwa. Na hii mtu, kuna mtu amemchagua. Sasa ile nyumba, hata Kipchumba huyu ni waziri hawezi ingia. Ni marais tupu wamekaa. Marais wamejaa pale. Ati anataka kuingia pale akae na marais. Sasa tunauliza, watu wanauliza huyu ni rais ya wapi? Finally, former Prime Minister, my brother, hatukatai salamu, hatukatai maongeo. Najua kikwetu, maybe huyu governor atakwambia.
The truth of the matter is that meeting between Ruto, Raila and Museveni has the potential of disrupting Rigathi Gachagua's political equation in Mount Kenya and in Kenya in general. But what next for him? Number one, in my view, Rigathi Gachagua must go to Mount Kenya and explain to them how the meeting between William Ruto and Raila Odinga and Museveni, or between William Ruto, Raila Odinga and Obasanjo, is not handshake. He must go and explain to the people of the mountain. Because failure to do that, the mountain will not understand why they were convinced that the handshake between Uhuru and Raila was bad. But no, this one for Ruto is genius move. So it's going to be very, very important for Rigathi Gachagua to move very fast to the mountain and convince them that indeed what happened between Ruto and Raila is that Ruto just wants to take Raila Odinga to where? To Addis Ababa. And you know, politics is very interesting. And just like I keep on telling you, William Ruto understands politics so well. He knows so well that for him to have won the support of the mountain, he needed to activate or to reactivate the Raila phobia. And the handshake provided him with an opportunity. William Ruto also understands currently that it's going to be very difficult for him to win the support of the mountain, because the mountain is already rebelling against him. And for him to recover, he needs to penetrate Raila Odinga's support base. And the only way to penetrate Raila Odinga's support base is by appearing to be working with Raila Odinga. So that if, for example, Raila will even decide, okay, I'm retiring from politics, and decide to support Kalonzo or someone else, it means William Ruto will have an easy way of going to the people who have always supported Raila Amolo Odinga. So Rigathi Gachagua must go to the mountain and explain to them that, you see, what we are witnessing is not handshake. Ile handshake ya Uhuru na Raila was bad. Or maybe, number two, what next? He must embrace this political arrangement between William Ruto and Raila Odinga. Because if he will fail to do that, atachwa kwa mata. And I'm seeing William Ruto already crafting his 2027 presidential campaigns and even the 2032 presidential campaigns. And that's why I think the Musalia Mudavadi factor is now becoming very clear. Why do you think William Ruto appointed Musalia Mudavadi as the Minister for Foreign Affairs? Why? It's because of this thing Raila is pursuing. And based on what I'm gathering, this idea of Raila Odinga going for African Union did not begin yesterday. It began last year when Obasanjo and Ruto met with Raila Odinga in Mombasa. So the idea was have someone strong who can persuade the world. So the first thing William Ruto did, fire Alfred Mutua. Then he appointed Musalia Mudavadi. And by that move, William Ruto ensured that Musalia Mudavadi also joined the National Security Council, which is one of the top security organs of the country. So it means Musalia Mudavadi currently sits at the highest security level meeting by virtue of being the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs. And of course, we all know that William Ruto has assigned Musalia Mudavadi more roles. Why? Because William Ruto knew so well that some of the things Musalia Mudavadi is doing for him, there was no way Rigathi Gachagua was going to do. Rigathi Gachagua was opposed to it. So it means now for Rigathi Gachagua to survive, he must embrace the arrangement. Then he can be incorporated. If you want to do that, things will move on. And that's the fact. Number 3, in my view, which is very, very important, and this is one of the surest ways Rigathi Gachagua can become Mount Kenya kingpin. Rigathi Gachagua can take advantage of Raila phobia in the mountain and then use it to oppose this alleged handshake between William Ruto and Raila Odinga. That is the first option. He can decide, okay, I'm going to oppose it and oppose it fully. But he can also decide to oppose it, the handshake, but embrace Ruto. Just the way William Ruto opposed the handshake with Uhuru, Raila, but then he still worked with William Ruto. Of course, as a deputy president, he has nothing to lose. The only problem is that for Ruto, he was facing a second term, which meant Uhuru was going home. For Rigathi Gachagua, Ruto is still here. So probably he has to play balls. So for me, he can decide that I want to focus on, I've been played, so I want to focus on my own politics. How do I do it? Win the support of the mountain. Become their kingpin. After becoming their kingpin, then now you can now use the mountain to either negotiate. Rigathi Gachagua can actually run for the presidency, or he can determine who becomes the next president. Let me explain to you guys how. Assuming Raila Odinga and William Ruto embrace each other, then Raila Odinga agreed to support William Ruto in 2027. Azimio will disintegrate. So which means Rigathi Gachagua can decide to throw his weight behind Kalonzo Musyoka. What would that mean? That would mean that Mount Kenya, with the support of Uhuru supporting Kalonzo, Rigathi supporting Kalonzo will have the entire Mount Kenya. And of course, there are many Azimio supporters who don't want anything to do with William Ruto. So they can then rally behind Kalonzo. So Mount Kenya, just the way they made Ruto in 2022, cannot actually break him again in 2027. So that is the other option, to oppose it completely. And lastly, is to embrace a new alliance. Rigathi Gachagua can decide, okay, let me embrace Kalonzo, or let me join forces with Azimio rebels. Because if Azimio are also not well managed by Raila Odinga, we are definitely going to see a rebellion. Because in politics, it's about interest. If Kalonzo will feel that Raila will not serve his interest, they'll read suspicion, they leave. And that's politics. I don't know what you think. Let me know your thoughts. And until next time, this is Makwiny. Bye-bye.